Hi, this is Robert Rickover, and my guest today is Imogen Ragone. Imogen's an Alexander Technique teacher in Wilmington, Delaware. I teach in Lincoln, Nebraska, and Toronto, Canada. And we're going to do a little experiment in walking. And Imogen has really no idea what's coming up, but we're just going to do a quick little experiment and then talk about it a little afterwards. So Imogen, could you stand somewhere towards the back of the room? So she'll be close enough that she can hear me. And you'll notice, by the way, that Imogen's studio has plenty of room and wooden floors, which is ideal for this particular thing we're going to do. I asked her to wear hard-soled shoes for this, and you'll see why in a little bit. So Imogen, the first thing I'd like you to do is just take a little walk around your room without any particular background intention, just a little walk, and sort of have register what that seems like. Now, I'd like you to now maybe go back to that same area back in the back to start. This time, here's your intention. The only parts of you that are working to do the walk are from your waist down, say from top of your pelvis down to the floor. Everything above that, your torso, your head, your arms, your intention for that is just to fit in with what the lower part of your body is doing to walk.
Okay.
Off you go with that thought. Okay, and now you have some sense of what that was like, right? Now I'd like you to start off that way, that your only work is coming from below your waist, everything else is fitting in, and then alternate that with just your ordinary habitual way of walking, and do that maybe 2 or 3 cycles. So you take a few steps with this new idea, a few steps just regular walking, and then a few steps with the new idea again. Just play with it. And when you're done, come on back to the chair and we'll talk about what happened. What did you notice?
I have no idea what you're hopeful about.
I didn't tell you, so.
I felt like I went down when I was very focused on the lower part of my body. I felt more tense, and I didn't feel as it didn't
okay.
feel it to me.
Wow. Okay. So when you say focused on the lower part of your body, the idea here is that you're just very clear that all the work is coming from the lower part of your body. It might be, I don't know whether that would involve being focused on it.
Yeah, I wasn't sure if I was carrying out exactly what you had in mind, but so maybe the way I interpret it was not quite your intention.
You want to try that again? So all
So is it more that the upper part of my body doesn't have to do anything?
Yes. Yes, maybe that's a better way of phrasing it. So the upper part of your body just fits in with what the lower part of your body is doing.
Okay.
You want to try that?
Yeah.
So maybe just go right to a little bit of regular walking, a little bit of this new way of phrasing it.
Okay. So I'm starting with the just regular walk.
Regular walk.
And then I'm going to go to my upper body just fitting in with the lower part.
Right.
And then I'm going to regular walking. And then upper body fitting in with the lower part. Upper body doesn't have to do any of the work.
It just adjusts and adapts to what the lower part's doing. Yeah. But it doesn't do any work on its own.
That was really different from what I experienced the first time.
So it's all about proper instruction. So what did you notice?
Well, that time I noticed that my walk felt lighter and easier when my upper body, for want of a better way, didn't get involved.
Yes, and it's in a way, it's kind of good. We had this little glitch because for someone watching, I think it helps clarify what it is that we're.
Yeah, because
what I'm.
Interpret it that way, other people could interpret it.
I could imagine they would. We're in beta testing mode here. I should say this is based on some work that John Macy, who's an Alexander teacher in Omaha, and I have been doing. The basic idea here is that in fact, it is the lower part of your body that's doing all the work. Mm-hmm. And in an earlier video, we did some experimenting with locating yourself in space. And you remember that when we did that little experiment, which we won't repeat now, your idea of where you were, say this upper part of your torso as a place where we were exploring, you had an idea that you were a little further forward than you actually were. Right. Now, what I've been discovering, and I'm sure other people will have somewhat different experiences, is that when I make a decision to walk somewhere, part of me is already going there and kind of getting ready, pushing forward. Even with all my Alexander training, which I know you don't do that, and all the center of gravity work we've done where we know what's actually moving, there's still this little thing. And what I've found is that being very clear what's working, what's doing the work, and what's adapting to what that
isn't doing the work.
It isn't doing any work, but it's just fitting in. Mm-hmm. And what I've been exploring is doing this when I'm walking or just even around the house. And I can tell you that the temptation to do this little extra stuff is extremely strong. Mm-hmm. And I have to really be vigilant for it not to kick in. And I have a feeling that's going to be the case for a lot of people experimenting with this. The other thing that I've noticed is that when I am successful at doing this, certainly my walking gets, the stride changes, it gets a little less long, and my legs are moving more easily, and my feet are coming down more easily, and all the rest of it. But I believe that what's going on also is that all the musculature in the lower part of my body is working a little differently. And it's almost like a little workout of a sort to walk that way for any length of time. I'm talking about several blocks, say, of walking. It almost gets a little physically tiring to do that. Because everything is moving differently. So some muscles are undoubtedly working a little harder, but overall it is a much lighter walk. That's what I found. And for those people who studied with Marge Barstow, this expression of hers, which she used to use sometimes, would be, you're just going across the room, say, and your legs are fitting in. That was her idea. I think she spent a lot of time thinking about legs and how they work. And I think she got it wrong. I think that's one of the few things she got wrong. It's really that your pelvis and your legs are moving somewhere, and everything else is just fitting in. And when you think about where you're getting all the sensory information about the surface beneath you, coming from your feet, basically, and the crucial role of your ankles in terms of your orientation, in a way, it makes sense from kind of any point of view that's in a way the most important area that's doing the work. Your brain might be ultimately the most important, for sure. But
well, you could say that I'm just being devil's advocate.
Sure.
I'm just thinking about what Marjorie Barstow said. You could, I guess, there's an argument that your legs are fitting in with your intention to walk.
That could be, but yeah,
because it comes from here, your brain, in some way first.
Yeah, and in fact, I mean, that direction of hers was often seemed quite useful. I think this is a little better. To me, this seems like a little more efficient way at getting at that. I guess that's how I would see it now. And I don't want to go. I want this video to be fairly short, so we're not going to go into a lot of details. But once you start playing with this, it opens up almost like a platform for all sorts of other add-ons, which we can talk about in later interviews. That it's like the first step or first stage in quite a different way of thinking about walking. That's what I've been discovering. And
I'm kind of thinking how it could transfer to all sorts of things, because it lets you think about what's the thing that's working, like me reaching for this cup, and what is the rest of it that's fitting in with me reaching.
Right, absolutely. And even just this particular idea that the work's all coming from your pelvis down is fantastic if you want to really see where it kicks in. Climbing some stairs, or even walking uphill a little bit, or getting out of a chair, for example, if we go back to traditional Alexander.
Well, I'll be experimenting with this on my daily walks, and maybe when I go upstairs later. Yes.
So, stairs are amazing with this. Anyway, so that's really the experiment I wanted to run today. And if you I'll post this on YouTube, and if you have any questions or comments, please post them. Imogen, thank you so much for doing this. I'm going to stop the recording now.
You're welcome.